The Daily News Online presents Inside High School Sports. Brought to you by Tonawanda Valley Federal Credit Union. With your host, Alex Brasky and Nate Ryder.
Hello everybody and welcome to yet another episode of Inside High School Sports. My name is Alex Brasky alongside Nate Ryder of the Batavia Daily News. First and foremost, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Tonawanda Valley Federal Credit Union. Of course, at TVFCU, we know members love our low loan rates and our low account fees, but our expert staff is really what everyone raves about. If you are not a member, consider joining and learn why our TVFCU members are considered friends, family, and fans. New members are always welcome. Stop in at 10 Jefferson Square, that's behind Wendy's in Batavia. Nate, we'll jump right into it here. We got another jam-packed show on tap for the folks at home. But our lead story, a game that you traveled about 100 miles to get to, but it was worth it. Coach Rapone at Notre Dame's 700th victory came in a comeback win over Lyndonville earlier this week. A big milestone for Coach Rapone. Had to be an exciting experience for those kids and a big win for the Irish.
Yeah, and even he admitted, I think the number 700 kind of got to the kids a little bit early on. And, Lyndonville played well, don't get me wrong, but Notre Dame did not play well for three quarters. And, Mark Sanders kind of shot them back into the game, and the defense took over after that. But you think about it, 40 years, 700 wins, and it's not just quantity with him either. I believe he's still the Section 5 record holder in win percentage, plethora of sectional titles, couple of state titles, and it's just amazing when you think about the accomplishment.
Yeah, it's been an incredible run for Coach Rapone, and Nate spent a little bit of time with Coach Rapone and a couple of his guys following that big win over Lyndonville.
40 years, 700 wins. What do those two numbers mean to you?
Well, it means that I've been able to coach for a long time, and I've had a lot of great guys like these two that have worn the Notre Dame colors and represented them so well. The coach is only as good as his players. I've had great ones just like these two, and I've been blessed to be at Notre Dame, and thank God for it every day. There's a reason why I don't talk about milestones, because I don't want the kids to feel the pressure. They shouldn't feel it. It's not about me, it's about them. I thought we were really tense for the first 2.5 quarters. We played tight, and we just didn't play the way we were playing. Credit Lyndonville for some of that, but some of it was us too. And we were able to pull it out. And again, it didn't look good for 2.5 quarters, but I know these guys are never going to go down without a fight, and that's why I'm honored to call myself their coach.
Coach Rapone is an amazing coach. I've only played with him for 1 year, and he's just he knows everything, and I'm happy to be proud of the 700 club.
I mean, we were stressed about it because we wanted it for coach and we wanted it for ourselves, but we came together at the end like we usually do. It takes us a little push to get there. So I'm super happy for coach, and it was a great game to play in. Obviously in 40 years and been to the finals I think 18 times, so I know what it takes to get there, and this group has it. They play great team basketball. They give you 100% all the time, and they believe in each other. And so those things will help them going forward. The biggest thing is they just got to take it one game at a time, which I know they will.
All right, Nate, we've had a ton of milestones achieved this year. Coach Rapone, and another one that happened this past week, Brianna Smith from Oakfield becoming the all-time leading scorer for the Hornets. That's the third player in our local area that's become their school's all-time leading scorer. So it's been a fantastic winter season, and Brianna Smith I mean, what can you say about her career? She led the Hornets to their first championship since 1995, a year ago, and has put them in position again this year to make another surprise run at the title.
She's been there seemingly forever. I think she was called up in 8th grade, and and she's one of the best forwards that the GR's seen in a long time. And especially considering how young that team kind of is and how every team really keys on her. You ever watch one of their games, they're double and triple teaming her, and she's still able to get it done. She's not just a post player. She can shoot. She handles the ball. And I know I talked to Coach Schlagenhauf after they beat Elba, and I mean, she's just a leader. She's a true leader for that team, and she kind of has been the whole time she's been there.
Yeah, and as the team's only senior, she really is forced to be that leader and has really taken on that role well. And like I said, has led this Hornets team to yet another successful season. But I stopped out and spoke with Coach Schlagenhauf and Brianna Smith at their morning practice this morning. It was a little difficult for me, Nate, but the girls were raring to go and working hard.
No school at Oakfield today?
Yeah, no.
Wow.
President's Week.
Wow, they get the whole week?
Yes. Well, back in my day, but we won't get started there. But anyway, I stopped out and spoke with Coach Schlagenhauf and Brianna about her milestone achievement.
It really means a lot to be able to do it with my team here together, to be able to become like the leader I am and just be able to have this accomplishment.
Well, she's a kid that's been around for 5 years, as an 8th grader playing varsity. So I think, you see that growth over the course of 5 years. And the young kid she was, 5 years ago. And as she's gotten older and she's taken on different roles. And, she is a true leader. And she's, as I said the other night, she's playing with kids that graduated in 2016. And she's playing with a kid that's going to graduate in 2025 now. So that's a pretty big gap. But I think the community support comes from the fact that she has been around so long. She's a great kid. They see how hard she's worked and how much she's improved, so it makes it pretty easy for kids and people to kind of jump on board and support her.
I think it really boosts my confidence to have everyone be able to cheer for me and support me through everything.
Sectionals coming up. How much are you looking forward to defending your sectional title?
I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to be very good contenders here, and we're just going to go out and play.
Yeah, she's been through it. She made some big plays in last year's sectional run, obviously. So it's always good to have kids that have gone through it. Kelsey was on that team and Carly, so they were in it and they got a lot of minutes and they made huge contributions. So going through it certainly helps. But we know we got our hands full. We got Alexander in the first round. They're a tough team. They're super well coached. Marcia does a great job with their kids. And like I told you earlier, our bracket's wide open. There's a bunch of different teams that can win it. So we've got to be on our A game, and we know that, which I think that helps too. We know we've got to be ready to play.
All right, staying on the hardwood, Nate, both Avon basketball teams have put forth quite the season. The girls, defending champions, looking to repeat as sectional champions, and the boys, a fantastic season in their own right. And our own Chris Metcalf stopped out and talked with Coach Rob Freeze and a couple of his guys, along with Coach Pete Leone and a couple of his girls. And Coach Freeze says that about his guys group, this is one of the closest groups that he's had in recent memory, and this is coming from a coach who's coached a state championship basketball team, so that speaks a lot on this year's Avon boys. And for the girls, they're really led by two seniors, Kenny Reed and Abby DeSillis, who continue to lead that Braves team to great things, and they're both in position to come away with the title this year.
With Avon, what Coach Freeze and Coach Leone do there year in and year out is just impressive. Every year those teams are going to be in the line in a running for a sectional title. And, we saw Avon, the boys this year, and they're not as good as some of Coach Freeze's teams in the past, but they're still a very, very talented group. And that bracket is so watered down. It's just weak.
No doubt.
I think they're the only team in it with a winning record. I think they're 16-4. The 2 and 3 seeds are 10-10. So, you hate to say it, but it's really theirs to lose. And, you mentioned the girls' team, and coming off that sectional win last year, they returned a huge chunk of that team this year. And, they're going to be in the mix, too. They're going to be there at least in the semifinals, if not the finals. So, yeah, you look at some of these schools with, both really good girls and boys basketball teams. I mean, you think of Notre Dame, you think of Elba, and you think of Avon.
Yeah.
Every year you're going to get that out of them, and it's just impressive what those two programs have done.
Yeah, but like I said before, our cohort Chris Metcalf stopped out and spoke with both the girls and boys teams at Avon.
It is a super group. First and foremost, to coach. They're fun to be around. They work hard. They're committed, and it is unusual in that we just have a terrific group of young female athletes coming through. 3 sport athletes, and it's reflected in all of our sports. In the fall, cheerleading, volleyball, soccer. Wait till the spring, track, softball, swimming. Of course, we have some terrific female swimmers. So we're really fortunate as coaches to have the opportunity to coach this group of athletes as they come through, and they're taking advantage of their opportunities.
I think we just have like good team chemistry, and we all work really well together no matter what sport, so I feel like that helps a lot.
It's a great time, and I told them that yesterday before practice. I said it's the best time of year in terms of the excitement generated by sectional season, and it's like starting over for everyone. And moving up a class, we are playing larger schools, but we've had a schedule in which all 4 of our losses were against larger schools, so I think it's prepared us for this. And I like our chances going in. I think if we stay healthy and play well, we have a good chance, even though we are a class larger this year.
Well, it'd be awesome to get it B2, and it's last year, so gotta leave everything out there. It would be awesome to bring it back to Avon for the 2nd year.
It was special. It was different this year because we lost Connor, our main scorer. So we had to have everyone step it up, everyone get in their role, playing the game, and everyone step in and out. We're #1 seed.
We got to keep working. We're working towards sectionals, getting the patch. So we got to play 1 game at a time, and boys are digging deep. So hopefully we can get it done this year.
What's it meant to put on an Avon Braves uniform?
Honestly, it feels amazing. Like, I love the school so much. All the community's great. I got so many friends here that I've made since I've moved here in kindergarten. So just putting on the uniform, playing for my community is great.
It's just special. It feels like such a tight community. So it's just special to play for everyone. Everyone knows you. So it's special.
Good luck.
All right, Nate, before we get to our next topic, we'd like to remind the viewers at home that this broadcast is brought to you by Tonawanda Valley Federal Credit Union. There is not a better time to leap into a new home or spruce up your current home. TVFCU is waiving the application fee on all mortgages and home improvement loans. This offer ends March 31st. Rates change weekly. Call 585-343-5627 to schedule your appointment and let the leaping and sprucing begin.
Leaping?
Yes. Is this a leap year this year, Nate? I believe so.
Yes, it is.
So maybe they're playing into that a little bit, a little cleverness there from Tonawanda Valley Federal Credit Union, our lovely sponsor.
I mentioned last week I need a new roof on my garage. I also need some new gutters.
There you go.
I might be stopping over this week.
If you need a home improvement loan, TVFCU is the spot to be. But getting back to the topic at hand, the Avon Braves. But we're going from the hardwood to the pool. Joleigh Crye, a young phenom, beating the boys in the pool, and honestly pushing a youngster who is qualified for the Olympic trials, and Aidan Kreiley of Dansville. Joleigh finished second to Aidan in the 100 butterfly at this past weekend's sectionals, but Joleigh did end up winning the 200 IM. So just an impressive performance from Joleigh and Mr. Kreiley, as we like to call him, Mr. Crowley, Mr. Kreiley. He just continues to impress, and Joleigh speaks highly of Aidan as a leader and someone who pushes her in the pool, and I'm sure he's played that role for several swimmers, both on his team and on other teams, just as the success that he's had and kind of the role model that he is in the pool.
Yeah, I saw a video of that race between the 2 of them, and she really did push him, and a lot's being said of Aidan being, if not the best LCA swimmer ever, at least one of them. And she's pushing him to the limit. So, it's really impressive what they got going down there, because swimming in this area isn't like basketball or some of these other sports. I mean, we get some good swimmers, but we don't get the superstars, and they definitely have 2 of them down there.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And it's been an exciting Livingston County swim season. It's been an exciting sectional season, obviously last week, and then moving forward to the states. And you can expect more accomplishments from both Aidan Kreiley and Joleigh Crye.
And Joleigh, how special was that win in the 200 IM? I mean, that's something I haven't seen before. You beat all the boys.
It's amazing. Definitely like one of the best feelings you can have to get the win and beat the boys.
And you guys look like you kind of root for each other when you kind of get going and you're rooting for your teammates.
It's nice to have Aidan in front of me and having him push me. He's a great leader and role model for me.
I'm just trying to come in and have fun with my teammates, and especially when you can do it with your club teammates too.
Awesome.
It's almost more fun to push them than it is to swim for yourself.
All right, Nate, yet again, we are onto the mat, but not the wrestling mat, the cheerleading mat. And there was a big tournament at GCC this past weekend. I believe it was this past weekend. The sectionals. Alexander's finished second as a team. They are now on to the state tournament, which is a huge accomplishment for those girls, while two local ladies, Madison Phillips of Alexander, who, side note, Nate, has never missed a day of school in her life. So Madison Phillips from Alexander and Wildey of Attica both advanced to the Ronald McDonald All-Star game after putting forth fine performances in the individual portion of that sectional championship meet. Our cohort Chris Metcalf spoke with both Madison and Autumn about their accomplishment as well as the Trojans' team accomplishment.
And you're heading to the New York State tournament. How exciting is that?
Oh my God, I could cry just thinking about it. It's just absolutely insane to be on this team for 4 years and to have this dream, and for my senior year to finally have this dream come true. It's really amazing. It's really exciting. It's actually been my dream to do this individual since I started cheerleading 4 years ago, just because I've also been a dancer basically my entire life. So I've done solos and things like that in dance, but to be able to do a solo in cheer, which is my other great passion, is just absolutely amazing. And then to win right next to Autumn, it's just such an honor to represent, like, to think we are the two people that are going to be representing the GR. It's crazy.
Honestly, it was a great honor. I honestly didn't really want to do it, but my mom talked me into it because I've been just cheering for so long. But overall, like, cheerleading has just put me in just a whole better position in my life. Like, it's my dream, it's my passion, and it makes me a whole better person. In cheerleading, it's not like just an individual sport. It's like your whole team. Cheerleading doesn't work with just one person. You have to connect with everybody. You have to be kind to everybody. And like, practices do get rough. Like, I mean, girls are girls, you know, they yell at each other. But like, you have to just be a leader and like really connect with each and one of your teammates.
Yeah, it's just so crazy to think. Like, to think of when I was like 2 years old in dance and being like, oh, I want to do cheerleading, and then being 5 years old and doing cheerleading, and then going to varsity cheer and being like, wow, like, this is something so much more than just having fun. Like, it's like being recognized for your hard work, and things like that are just so amazing.
All right, Nate, last but not least, Super Sectional Wrestling. We spoke about it this past week, and it all took place this past weekend at Cirque Center at SUNY Brockport. An exciting evening of wrestling. A bunch of local champions, a couple runner-ups, and both those champions and as well as a bunch of others were selected for wildcard bids to the state tournament, so they will be moving on to compete next weekend in Albany. It's been another exciting year of wrestling and another successful year in the Glow region.
Yeah, you know, you have Andrew Englerth from Leroy. You know, he's one of the few that ever in that program has gotten to this point. You know, Zach Hannon from Bergen gets his first, I think. First trip to the States, maybe.
Correct.
You know, Brett Conaway. And
Brock Conaway.
And I'm missing the other one.
Mitch Gaiser.
Mitch Gaiser from Alexander. And, you know, it's impressive just to get to that point. You know, to be at the state meet is got to be exciting. And like you said, we had a bunch of wild cards, too. We had, I believe, Josh Barber and Casper Stewart both lost in the finals, I believe.
Correct.
They'll both be going, and there's a bunch more. I know maybe DeGroff is one.
Yep, DeGroff. He was actually upset in the final, but he'll be going, I believe, for the third straight year. And Cole Runfola from Letchworth.
Yep.
So yeah, you're absolutely right. Just a ton of kids advancing both with first place finishes and wild card bids.
Yeah, just like I said, just to get there is impressive enough. And, we've seen some of these kids, all throughout their careers, and they kind of build to this point. I know Englerth has, and Hannon and his old man have been working toward this. And, to get there and wear that Section 5 singlet down there and, be in that huge environment. I mean, I remember when I worked up there, we went down to it one year, and, it's just, it's crazy. It's a crazy scene. It's exciting, and, it's good to get some, quality wrestlers out of this area going down there.
Yeah, absolutely right. Me and Chris stopped down there last year. We actually broadcast the Division II finals on NFHS Network, and you're right. It's just a spectacle inside the Times Union Center. Those kids look forward to it like nothing else, and it should be another great weekend at the state championships. But we did spend a little bit of time with Mitch Gaiser and Andrew Englerth this past weekend at the Super Sectionals.
It's great. I've been looking forward to this for so long now. I remember when I was younger watching my brothers wrestle, and I'd be shedding tears. It's really great. It's good. I want to see where I stand against the best wrestlers in the state. I think it's going to be a good tournament.
My mind's been on state since the beginning of the year. That's been the goal, and to make it to the final match of that tournament would be amazing. If I could create history, that'd be awesome. Being the first state champ would be phenomenal. No words to explain it.
All right, Nate, that's going to do it for this episode of Inside High School Sports, brought to you by Tonawanda Valley Federal Credit Union. It's been another jam-packed episode, as I say every week. It's been an exciting week, and it's only going to get more exciting with the sectional basketball tournament ramping up. Like I said, the wrestling states, just a bunch of stuff yet to come in this winter season before we're through.
I'm looking forward to the Section 5 basketball. We got a ton of teams, boys and girls that are in position to make a run. Last year we had, I think we had 3 girls teams win last year.
Yep. And I believe another boys team.
And a boys team, Caledonia won last year, I believe. And Caledonia's going to be they're a number 1 seed. Right, York's right behind Oakfield. I think Notre Dame's a 2 seed. Elba's a 1 seed. Batavia's in the mix. I think they end up 2. So all across the board for boys and girls, same thing. Elba's a 1 seed. And Pembroke's a 1 seed. It's an exciting time for these kids, and this is what they've been working for.
Yeah, and we'll be bringing you all of the action on all of the Daily News social media channels, as well as right here on Inside High School Sports. But that's going to do it for another episode, and we will see you next week.